Hiya, Matt Baker here with the Petcast. Now, this is a podcast all about pets, so I am towing my caravan as a mobile studio all around the country to meet famous people and not just talk about their pets, but to meet their pets as well. If you can hear a bit of a festival vibe going on, that is because I have brought the Petcast caravan to Goodwoof on the Goodwood Estate in West Sussex. And my guest for this week's episode is a comedian. He's headlined some of the biggest festivals in the world. He's a presenter, he's an author, and he has dedicated his life to animals and his home. Let's welcome to the Petcast, Bill Bailey. Bill, come in.
All right then.
How are you, mate?
How are you? Very well.
Come on in.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
How good to
see you. Really good to see you.
Who's this little beauty that you've
this
brought?
is Chocho.
Chocho?
Yeah,
Oh,
there she is.
And how long have you had Chocho?
We've had her about 6 months.
Right.
And she's a little rescue, a Japanese chin.
A Japanese chin?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
gosh.
she's very sweet. And she is just delightful with people and
Yes.
other dogs.
Perfect to come here then.
Perfect to come here,
Goodwoof,
exactly, yeah.
She's a little lap dog.
Yeah.
She's got gorgeous long hair, black and white, mainly white, with sort of black down her face. And she's very regal, Bill.
Yes, she is. She is. She's quite regal. And actually, she walks in a very sort of like a refined way.
Does she?
Her tail goes right up. She's like a bit of a catwalk doggo, I think.
Yes.
There's a society in the UK, the Japanese Chin Society, and they this is where we got her from, and they have a lot of sometimes rescues, and they try and rehome them.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, she's actually my dad's dog, and which we got for him because his dog died. And so, as my dad, is on his own, and walking the dog meant that he got out of the house. He would chat to people. It was a wonderful way to kind of engage with people, as you know.
Get out and about.
You get out and about, and so without the dog, we thought. I mean, he was like, "Oh, perhaps I won't have another dog." And we were like, "No, come on, Dad, you got to have another dog." So we found her. And he absolutely loves her, so she's now part of the family.
And she's obviously got such a lovely aura about that. She won't pull him around on the lead. She'll just be, if he sits down, she'll sit down.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. And he's 93 now, so bless him. And he's
wow, that's good, isn't it?
He's in good fettle, but not quite as robust as he was. So a bigger dog, as you say, might have been a bit of a problem. But she's no problem at all.
But you're looking out for him in that way, and you know what your parents need, don't you? And I think that's animals are just so key to the way that we live our lives. I mean, Bill, I can't think of a better guest for our Petcast than you, because
that's very kind.
I mean, you're sort of like a modern Dr. Dolittle now. Let's be honest with it. And I mean, it's difficult to know where to start, to be fair. So I think we should just rewind right back to the very beginning and that sort of first animal encounter, because it's not like you sort of grew up in a zookeeper's house.
No, absolutely not. No, and it was really. I mean, I talk about it a little bit in my book about animals. My book on I wrote a couple of books. One was on happiness, and the other one was on animals.
And other animals.
It was a little nod to Gerald Dole there, but my first thing. Well, I mean, I talk about. I wasn't very old. I couldn't have been very old, and a red setter knocked me over on the beach, in Woolacombe, and it was quite sort of, when you're a little kid, big dogs can be quite intimidating. But I didn't put me off, but it made me very aware of being, when you've got kids, small children and dogs, being aware of how you've got to be with them. And so that was my first encounter. And then we had all kinds of dogs over the years. We had a West Highland White Terrier when I was a kid.
As like a pet dog in the family.
As a pet dog in the family, Tinker. And she was my dog for years and years. And then when Is
this the dog that you got about photos, and your mum always like?
Yes, that's right. She was she was slightly prudish about the dog. It's like, put your hand over there. Don't go,
showing the private parts.
Showing the parts, absolutely. Just discretion. at all times. And then my grandmother had a dog. Because
your grandparents lived attached to your house.
My grandparents lived with us. That's right. My grandfather was a stonemason, and he was basically kind of helped to build this extension on the end of the house.
Do you remember that growing up, or was that before
It was before I was around, but it was amazing. I mean, it was an amazing kind of way. There was 3 generations under one roof, so there was
a lot of experience to feed off then as you were growing up.
Definitely. Because and interesting conversations I had, like because my dad was away working, my mum was always busy, so I'd come home from school, and the kind of post-school chit chat was with my grandparents, very often. And they were my grandfather was he was a brilliant conversationist, and my grandmother was always, she loved to know what had gone on, and so I have very fond memories of that sort of after school sitting down with them.
I'm sure. And did they have pets as well as your?
They didn't. No. But we had the dog, and then we had another dog after that, and then. When I moved up to London, I met my wife. She had a dog, and then the dog moved in with us.
Just when you were on a houseboat.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
I mean, as if life's not complicated enough or logistically difficult on a boat.
It was.
You've got this.
It was, but you know what? This dog was absolutely magic dog. Rocky, he was called. He was a Lakeland Terrier, Lakeland Patterdale cross.
Oh, right.
And he had just amazing attitude, smart, and he figured out that that there was a park right next to where the boat was moored, and there were lots of people in the park who would throw a ball for him. So he'd take himself off with a ball. So he'd take a tennis ball from the boat, he'd climb up the stairs, walk along the mooring, squeeze under the gate, get into the park, and then he'd go up to someone and just drop a ball at their feet.
Yeah.
And they would throw the ball for him for a bit, and then they get bored of it and would go away, and he'd be like, right, go and find someone else. He would just, and then he'd come back, have a bit of lunch, I mean, he was a latchkey dog. He was magic. An amazing dog.
And what were you doing at that time in your life then? Were you?
Well, that was when I just started doing comedy, doing stand-up gigs, and so I started to get quite busy, and so eventually we had to move off the boat and find somewhere on dry land,
right?
And found a little flat, and the dog came with us, and we. And then it started to, the animal count started to go up a bit.
Yeah, what was the start of that? Because now, I mean, you've got such an eclectic mix of stuff in your household.
Yes.
So you started with dogs, and then what was then the first sort of deviation away?
The deviation then was cats.
It was cats, right? Okay.
So we had quite a lot of cats.
Yeah.
And, some amazing cats, Devon Rex cats, the ones with the sort of hairless ones with the huge ears.
Why did you go for that then?
I don't know. They've got bags of character, and they make wonderful pets, and this particular cat really got on well with the dog as well. The two of them just seemed to get on really well. Right. And the cat would hurl itself at the dog and grab it around the neck, and they would play fight, and they got on great. So we had cats for a while, and then
how did the dog cope with moving from the boat?
The dog actually, you know what? After that, the dog would come with me to gigs. He loved it. He'd get in the van with me,
really?
And he'd come to a gig.
Was that something you encouraged, or was it something that you?
Sometimes it was a practicality.
It's a bit of a nightmare sometimes. I mean, as I know, because my Blue Peter career was spent with Meg and my Blue Peter dog.
Right.
You know what I mean? The complications that come with taking an animal to work.
That's right. Yeah. Well, on one occasion, I was doing a gig, and he sort of ambled onto the stage. Just sort of, and of course people, they love that. They're all hey, there's a dog on, and then he looked at me, and I said something to him, and then it was almost like it was almost perfect timing. He yawned. He just went like that and curled up, went to sleep, because I got a round of applause, and so he would come in the van with me, and occasionally come on stage.
It's amazing actually, because it could be quite daunting with a big crowd of clapping and laughing, and certainly with a breed like you're talking there.
Yeah, he was totally unfazed by all that. He was a good natured dog. And then we had cats, and then we got a parrot, which was a rescue, a cockatoo, Molly.
Whose idea was that?
Well, now this was. This was my wife's was talking to someone about these birds, and we sort of thought, well, she knew someone with a bird, and this bird was absolutely, I mean, what a character! So much fun, endlessly entertaining. And so when this opportunity came to look after one, well, we said, okay, well, we'll take it on, because we had a little bit of space in our flat, and we put this little enclosure in. Anyway, this parrot was just magic.
Wow.
She was
What
fantastic.
was the setup you had then for the?
Well, we had a little sort of night sleeping area, which was just a little box,
right,
which was with perspex around it, and that's where they go at night to sleep, which is kind of trying to mimic the wild behaviour, so natural behaviour. So they go in a little hollow tree.
Okay.
And then during the day, there was a little section in the house which we made a little glass aviary, and so the bird would go in there, and she would sort of watch us during the day, because parrots, they like to know what's going on. They like to be at the centre of it. So we put her at the centre of the flat. So she was right in the middle of it. So things were happening all around. She loved that. Plenty of enrichment. You give her loads of toys, things to play with.
Yeah.
And so we had Molly for a long time, and then now we've got Molly. Eventually, she passed on a few years ago, but we've got another one, Molly 2, and now we've got Jacobs. He's another white cockatoo.
Are they rescued as well?
All of them are rescued. Right. Yeah, they've come from places that either the owners couldn't look after them anymore, or the owners have died, and then someone's got in touch with us, because the parrot rescue community is, as you can imagine, quite small. As soon as anyone knows, Bill and Kris, they look after parrots. So you get the call,
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's a big responsibility. Isn't it? I mean, logistically, again, it must be tricky.
You have to know what you're doing, and you have to do the research.
Yeah.
Because parrots are incredibly intelligent, very demanding, and sometimes they can be a bit of a challenge. They can be quite destructive. They're quite messy eaters. You can't be too house proud if you've got a parrot, but they are incredibly rewarding, amazing characters. So
what do you feed a parrot, and how often do you feed a parrot?
Well, every day we have a mix. A little mix we make up. We sort of every week or so we make a box of mix, which is a mix of fruit, veg, and sometimes we mix it up with a bit of with pasta, with other things like that. And that's one bowl, and then there's another bowl of seed. So they have a mixed seed and fruit. Right. So we try to sort of, again, replicate what they might eat in the wild.
Yeah.
And they get that every day, and occasionally a treat. I've never known them to say no to a chip. If you've got a chip, they'll take a chip off you.
Yeah.
Because I'd say, well, why? Everyone goes, why parrots do love chips? And I go, well, you can't get them in the wild.
No, you can't.
Can't get them.
True. That's so true.
So why wouldn't they like them?
So heading back then to Molly. So you were in this flat.
Yeah.
And you're not still in that flat now, are you?
Yeah.
Is it the same flat that you're in?
Yeah.
Oh my word! Right. So this flat then has evolved.
It has evolved.
Years.
Yes, it
for
has.
more of the animals that you've had.
Yeah.
Right, because I mean, you would think that you'd need an enormous amount of space.
You would think
for
that.
the stuff that you've got. I mean, but you just surround.
We found space for them. Yeah, we were very lucky. In the flat, it was quite a small flat, but it had a bit of space at the back. It had a garden,
right?
And when we got the flat, it was quite overgrown, and it was quite a sort of it was just a thicket. Right. And so when we cleared it all out, we realised actually there's quite a bit of space back here. So we put up an enclosure, an outside enclosure for the parrots to go in if the weather's good. Oh, nice. And then so the thing is, it starts to snowball. Then we got a rabbit,
right, and
then we got a guinea pig. And then we got some more rabbits.
Right. So the rabbit. What rabbit did you get?
It was your basic,
your normal bog standard
rabbit. And that was that was surplus to requirements. Someone couldn't look after it.
Right.
Someone couldn't look after the guinea pig. Okay, we'll take the guinea pig. So the rabbit and the guinea pig, they got on really well. And then we thought, we seem to know how to deal with rabbits. Let's get another couple. So we got another couple of rabbits, giant rabbits, huge Flemish giants. which are enormous rabbits. I mean, they're the biggest.
I mean, when you pick them up, you see people, don't you? Enormous.
Huge rabbits.
And, why did you go for them? Just because they were so
again, there was
exciting?
a couple that some couldn't look after them, and so we said, well, we thought about it. Could we take another couple of rabbits? Yeah, we know what we're doing with rabbits.
What did you do with them? Where did they go?
They had a little hutch, right? So we built this thing. It was a 2-level. It was a split level hutch. There was one rabbit there, and it was like a sort of condo for rabbits, and they loved it.
Themselves
they
in there.
Squeeze themselves in there, and they just lollop around the garden during the day. Huge, intimidating rabbits. I did see one on one occasion, because we had the dogs as well. The dogs knew not to go near the rabbit, but a fox got in the garden during the day, and it was a young fox, and it was stalking this rabbit, and I was watching, and I was like, oh no, and then just as I was going out there to shoo it away, this rabbit, it sort of hopped round 180 and booted this fox in the face with its back legs.
Really?
And the fox was terrified. It just bolted, its ears flattened, went over the wall, never saw it again.
Yeah.
And I always used to love to think what that night when the fox was hanging out with the other foxes, and he's telling the story. Yeah, there was this rabbit, man. I mean, this is massive, and it kicked me in the face. They're all going, "Oh yeah, a rabbit was it? Yeah, yeah, he's lost it." No, I'm telling you, this thing was massive. Yeah,
but a great source for comedy. Obviously, the animals that you've had over the years.
I mean, we've had so many. We've had since then. We've had tortoises. We've had armadillos. We've looked after.
Armadillos?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Again, rescued then, I imagine. Did
they
have armadillos and need a home for them?
They were rescued, and we had a breeding pair, and we were the only people in Britain to breed 3-banded armadillos, which was amazing. So now we've sort of wound the home zoo down a little bit now, so they're in a wildlife centre now.
Right. Mm. And so, I mean, so Kris, your wife, then was she instrumental in all of this then? Or was
She's very much on board with it all. Yes, yeah. She loves animals, always has, and so it's just as well, really, because we both have that shared love of them. Yeah, and they're so rewarding. They're so, and you get to, it's a kind of forms a part of the day. You get up, it's a sort of ritual. You get up and you get the animals up and you feed them, and the dogs need feeding and walking and exercising, and the parrots they love to come out and hang out with us.
Gives you purpose, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And also a fascinating world to look into, because if you're getting these new animals, like if you've never had a parrot before, you've then got to investigate that world and learn so much. And then again with armadillos, I mean, where do you start with that? I mean, where did they live?
I had a wooden a shed where I worked. I still do, and every man should have a shed. I mean, come on.
If you've got room, why not?
Room. So I had a shed, and then there was a sort of an annex to the shed, which was like a sort of tool cupboard, and we cleared all that out and put made it into an armadillo enclosure, which if you're interested, is you need a bit of substrate, obviously, because they like to burrow. Right. You need somewhere where they can hide out, a little thing they can go into, and they were quite happy in there, and they loved. We give them a mix of sometimes you get mealworms, they love a bit of fruit, and they would scuttle around. We let them out in the garden sometimes, and they would just kind of scuttle around, and they can't see their feet, so it looks like they're a remote control. They look like these sort of weird little sort of creatures.
I mean, I'm trying to picture an armadillo.
They're sort of like the 3-banded are quite small.
It's like a pie.
About a pie size.
Pie-sized, yeah.
A big grapefruit.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah,
and how did they cope, like, as the seasons went on? I mean, did they hibernate, or did they just...
No, they don't hibernate. We just had to make sure there was a little bit of warmth in there when it got really cold.
Yeah.
But they're pretty hardy. And they were amazing animals.
Yeah. I'm thinking of your sort of daily routine as you get up, because obviously certain animals have to be kept separate from the others.
Totally.
So there's stuff that you must have in your house, of how your house has evolved. I mean, we've got a young pup at the moment, so we've got baby gates and this, that, the other. Yeah. So the tinkering that you must have done to where you live to keep things separate. Must be quite cool.
I did say to my wife at one point, I said, it's getting out of hand, I said, I'm going to come through the door one day, and there's all you can hear is and these animal sounds, and there's just straw on the ground, and they've taken over. But yeah, we did. I mean, the parrots have their own. They've got their own routine. They've got their own enclosure. The dogs, obviously, they need to be sort of got their own beds. They've got their feeding stations and all that.
Yeah.
The armadillos have got their own enclosure. The tortoises had their own enclosure. Then we had various other animals. We had various birds, exotic birds that we kept in a. We built this geodesic dome in the back garden. They used to go in there, and so we had. It was quite the zoo. At one stage, we were officially the smallest zoo in Britain, the newest and smallest, and we were registered as a zoo. Yeah. But we didn't have...
Well, that whole process, why did you go down that on purpose?
Well, only because, it meant that, we...
Licenses and stuff.
Licenses, but also it was for best practice, and we would get inspected, and people would come and they would say, wow, this is amazing. This is way better than the vast majority of zoos because I mean, not to get too much into it, but a lot of animals they like to be left alone, and that's why so many of our animals bred, because they were just left to their own devices, and so it was really rewarding, hard work. I mean, it was really hard work. We had lots of help. We had people, volunteers from London Zoo, who were interns there, and they would come and work with us, and they would help to get experience. Amazing experience.
And you'd open up your door and welcome them into your house.
Yeah, they come into our house and they get this amazing sort of experience of looking after animals. Hands-on experience. Breeding pairs. How to we had an incubator for the baby armadillos. We had lots of great knowledge that was acquired over the years that we had the animals. So I think I feel that we did right by them, and that all of that knowledge, that acquired knowledge, we sort of logged it all, and we registered it all, and it all went into a European database of animal welfare and behaviour. Yeah. You sort of when we looked after them, these animals, you kind of think, well, there is a lot of information about them, but then there's not many people that sometimes take animals there like that on and also
live with them
every day.
That's the thing. It's the living. It's not just walking up to them in a box or whatever, and writing a few things down and leaving them again. You're living with them. We live them every
24/7. We would get to know them, get to know their behaviour, get to know their life, what they like, the dislikes, things to sort of to look out for, and of course all of that is really good information for best practice of caring for these animals.
Yes, yeah. And obviously you're so close to them as well. Is that where the sort of painting side of it came in as well? Because some of your artwork is absolutely beautiful to look. I mean, really gorgeous. The birds and stuff like that you paint.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's because you see them every day. Yeah. And I wrote a book about birds, a guide to British birds, and I just got into sketching them. Because they're so amazing. They're just so intricate, and I take loads of photographs, and then I would just sketch away, and I really got a love of drawing wildlife from that. And I started drawing birds, and some of our parrots, and then it sort of expanded into all kinds of birds, other animals like butterflies and bees and bugs, and now it's one of the things I love to do. It's one of my great sort of relaxation.
Productive methods. Sitting down. Yeah, that's how I love to paint too. And I'm always up and about, and I never sit still. And the only time I do sit still is when I'm sitting painting or drawing, because again, it's productive sitting.
Absolutely, yeah, it is very productive. Yeah,
yeah. It's time to tell you a little bit more about our sponsor, Harrington's Dog food. Now, of course, if you have dogs, they are part of the family, so it's only right that we pay as much attention as to what's going into their bowl as we do with our food. And that is why Harrington's superfood range is made with freshly prepared meat ingredients and boosted with carefully selected superfoods to support your dog's everyday health. Shop the range at harringtonspetfood.com and at leading grocery and pet retailers nationwide. Where do you think that love came from when you think back to growing up? And because obviously that moment sort of as you were a young man where it started.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't given to you as a young boy, was it?
No, I think that, I attribute a lot of that to my mother, actually.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a kid, when I was a weekend excursion would be to a wildlife park or to a bird sanctuary.
Right.
If in the West Country, we go to Road Bird Gardens, or we want to go to the WWT, one of those places. And there was something about the love of the natural world that my mum held very, very dear. And I just remember this mantra that she would repeat over and over. She goes, I just want you to love nature. She goes, I just want you to love nature. And it was like it's sort of sunk in. And it's something which is, I guess it stayed with me, into my adult life, and to something which I guess I realise now it's a very sort of wise thing to say, because it's so rewarding, and obviously we all feel a sort of sense of obligation about the natural world, but it's also what we get from it, what we get from animals.
The pace of of Mother Nature, in the way that now we live our lives, so much going on, that technology, everything's so whereas you just take a step back, you look at Mother Nature acting in the way that she does, and wow. And that love of comedy, then, when did that come into you? Were you always the funny kid?
Well, I mean, I just loved wordplay. I loved, listening to comedy. I loved watching comedy from a very early age. And I remember when maybe 10, 12 maybe, and sitting down with the whole family in the annex with my grandparents and my mum and dad, all watching Victor Borge, who is this sort of, I don't know if you know, he's this Danish-American musician, very accomplished pianist, but also very funny comedian. And he was hugely popular in the 60s and 70s. And he had his own TV show. And I remember just everyone laughing. There's 3 generations. They're all sitting around watching this guy, he's messing around with music, with sound. He's trying to put a seatbelt on when he's playing the piano. And there's, it was just genuinely really funny, and I think that made a deep impression on me.
That was a moment for you,
People like that, and Les Dawson, obviously, he was he was again very good pianist.
But the notes and all that.
Brilliant at sort of sending out. So I guess that left a real impression on me.
Did you have a piano in that? Was there a piano in the house?
Yeah, we had a piano in the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was the pianist?
My mum played the piano, and she would sit with me for hours while I practiced. And we'd sing songs at Christmas.
Was it quite a relaxed way of learning, or did you have to go through the whole grade thing?
I did go through the grade thing at school, but the piano was always there to just noodle around on, and I would pick out tunes I'd heard on the radio, and it was just something that was there.
And so you were drawn to that, then you didn't feel the need to have to go and do practice?
Absolutely not. No, I just sort of felt, I just think, this is great fun. There's something about this I love. So I guess that was that idea of performing, that idea of being in a, of it being a totally natural thing to do.
You see, that's the vibe I get from the music that you play. You want me as a listener to have a good time. You're not like, okay, sit down and listen to this. I'm going to do it, and fold your arms and be very quiet.
That's right.
I feel very sort of interactive with the way that and it's quite family.
It is
oriented in that respect.
That's great. I mean, because that's how I see music as a way of drawing people in and maybe enthusing them in the way that I feel enthused by it. And you mentioned exactly that thing about the rather prescriptive way of trying to get people to listen to music. A few years ago I did this show called the Guide to the Orchestra, and it was very much like there's the Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, which is by Benjamin Britten, and if you listen back to it now, it's very, very formal. It's like, right, here is the clarinet. it makes this kind of sound. It's marvellous, isn't it? So I wanted it to be a little bit more relaxed, a bit more fun, infuse a bit more comedy into it. And but at the same time, maybe like tell people about how an orchestra works. And maybe sort of deconstruct a little bit how it all fits together. Yeah. Because I don't know. I think music is a great way of bringing people together.
So the new tour that you've got, this vaudeville sort of, is that's all connected to that way of being entertained that you were as a small boy when you were in the family.
It is. It's very much that. And like I've over the years I've written shows about all kinds of different subjects and had themes about different things. But then I realised I can't remember. It must have been a comment that somebody wrote about my last show, and it was like, Bill, he's like a modern day vaudevillian, and I thought, God, that's wait a minute, that's exactly what I do. Yeah. And then so that prompted me to sort of research and go into the history of vaudeville, and sort of really. So much of it was chiming with the kind of things that I love and I perform and I do in my show anyway. And I thought perhaps, after all these years, it's time to just lean into the thing that I've actually been doing for years, but and really make something more of that, and actually, if I can, to thread a little bit of the line of what I'm doing now back all the way to the sort of source of how vaudeville began, and really see the kind of connections that I feel with it. Vaudeville went through a kind of a huge heyday when it was the only entertainment, and then radio came in, and so people could listen to entertainment at home, so they stopped going out, and then there was film and then television. Of course, now we have streaming and the internet. So there's so many things that other distractions that people can have to live entertainment. Yet what I'm so delighted by is that now I think perhaps because of the way the modern world has a tendency to make us a little bit more isolated, to all the business models of so many different things require us to be at home. You can get food delivered, you can watch things on your computer, you don't have to go out. And yet numbers of people going to see live performances are going up. And so I think that tells us something, that we crave that. Yes, we crave togetherness and being in a crowd and experiencing something that is happening right there in front of you, that cannot possibly be replicated, because every show is different, every show is unique.
That energy and that need to connect with whatever it is that invisible space.
I've got to say, I love being in a caravan, Matt. I tell you,
it's nice.
I really do. I'm getting used. I can't tell you how this is reminding me of all of our family holidays in caravans. I love them so much.
Yeah. Well, I started doing a little show with my mum and dad called Travels with Mum and Dad, and the only reason we did it was because I knew that my dad would want to have a sleep during the day. Yeah. And I was like, I've got to take a caravan as literally just a day van. We weren't going to sleep in it overnight, just something. And we would go off and we'd go and look around museums and all these lovely places. Mum and Dad would go. Dad would come in, literally lie down, have a sleep. The dogs would be in, and it was just such a lovely vibe. Yeah. And so when I started doing this, I was like, well, I'm going to take a caravan around, because people can come in with their pets, and we can all just sit around and just have a nice conversation.
Oh, it's so nice.
You want to be doing a podcast in the middle of London with all the all that energy. Let's take this to people's houses.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Park up.
Yeah, you know, and it's lovely, isn't it? And obviously the animals are quite happy.
Animals love it. Do you know what? We're the same. There was me, my mum and dad, and the dog in this caravan. Yeah. And do you know, there's something still to this very day. It's what I love about camping, and I still go camping now. The sound of rain, when the rain came on the roof and you're in a little cozy caravan, and I find it incredibly calming, and have wonderful sort of nostalgic memories about it.
No, I totally agree. So that concept of touring and moving around, and not that you're going to stay in a caravan when you go on tour and stuff, but that must be it must be weird for you because it is a very different world to the world that you live in at home. When you're, in hotels and stuff, you obviously haven't got your parrots around you. You can't walk into the bathroom and see an armadillo there.
No, that's right. Let's hope not.
Yeah, depends where you stay with regards to the cockroaches and stuff. Yeah. But still,
the hissing cockroaches. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That the different worlds that you live in, because you've done a lot of touring, haven't you, around the world, even doing wildlife programs. Stuff too. So that feeling of returning home to your menagerie.
Oh, it's lovely. And it's very much like a little haven, our place, and I love coming home. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love touring. I love seeing new places and traveling the world and making documentaries and all those things. Because I have a great curiosity about the world, about people, and about other cultures and people and wildlife and other nature and all that. I love that. Have a sort of an appetite for that. But equally, when I'm done with that, it's lovely to come back and sort of go into that rhythm of the house, because it does have a rhythm. The parrots want to get up, the dogs have to get up, stuff has to be done. You have a ritual, you have a routine, and I kind of love that. I sometimes crave that routine. And
I bet you do. I bet it was really important during. I mean, I did Strictly in 2010. I bet it was really important during that time, because that is a crazy world, isn't it?
It is a crazy world, and it's full on. It's full immersion, and you're sort of. Training every day for hours and hours and hours.
And it gets more intense as the weeks go on.
Exactly, it gets very intense, and it was so lovely coming home. And I'd sort of and what I would do is we've got a little pond out the back of the house with some fish in it, and
of course. What fish are they?
Koi.
Koi carp. Koi carp. Oh wow.
We got some koi carp.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is. I would go and I'd sometimes get a cold beer or a glass of wine, and I would sit on the edge of the pond and dangle my feet, my battered feet in the pond, and the fish would come up and nibble them. And I'd get a bit of sort of, a bit of a spa.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Because, certainly in the first few weeks when, I was wearing these uncomfortable shoes. I'd never worn these tight dance shoes before, and ballroom shoes, there's no sole to them. It's just literally like leather on, then there's nothing between your foot and the floor. It's like you're wearing a glove. And my feet were really in a bad way, with blisters, and of course you get no sympathy off the dancers. I'd say to OT, oh look, she goes, come on, and I go, yeah, but I got a blister, and she'd look at me like, just deadpan me like, what? So what? I go, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay, yeah. I won't complain ever again.
Have you still got the koi?
Yeah, we do, yeah. Yeah, they're all doing well.
Wow, because they can grow to some age, can't they?
Yeah, they can grow, exactly. Decades old. And they're all getting on well.
Are they?
Yeah, they love it.
Do you have to have your pond a certain depth so they can get down in the winter?
That's right. We have quite a deep pond, and it means that they can get out of the sun. Because when it gets too hot as well, they like to go down to get out of the sun. Yeah. So, but they like a cabbage.
Do they? Your shopping, it must be amazing what you get through the, do you get your shopping delivered, or do you go out for it?
We go out for it, and we get some of it delivered,
So all the fruit and all the veg and all the seed and all, I mean, you must be inundated with animal
That's right.
food.
There's all different sorts of food. That's right. Yeah. And it's a lot less now. I mean, I should point out that we at one stage we had a huge number of animals, lots of different species, multiple species. We had, I mean, it was quite the operation, Matt. It really was. I mean, we had cameras, we had CCTV, we had monitoring, heat pads, we had different diets, we had whole sheets, like worksheets. This animal gets this animal gets this, then they've got to be weighed, and then we've got to get into the vets, and then it was an enormous amount of work, and it was wonderful. I mean, I wouldn't have missed it for a minute. It was really, really rewarding. But we've wound it down now. And so we're down to 4 parrots, 2 lizards, and 3 dogs, and about a dozen fish.
Bijou. And it's slowly growing again. No, you got to do these phases.
I know. Well, yeah. But it's great fun. I mean, I think being around animals is is one of the great things, that you can do. They do. I mean, there's always all the physiological things about having a dog, about reducing heart rate, reducing stress, reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, all of those things.
Yes.
But I just think it keeps you very grounded, because you are responsible for these animals. You have to be there for them, but they give you so much in return, so much affection and laughs, and the parrot will laugh if somebody tells a joke. The parrot actually laughs. They pick up on the cadence of your voice, and certainly if I stub my toe, which I often do because I'm a bit clumsy like that, and I go wow like that and swear, the parrot will go ha 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 ha, ha and throw her head back and laugh. It's so humiliating.
But vastly entertained at the same time.
By another species.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Bill, thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey, not at all.
It's been wonderful to welcome you into the caravan.
Thanks
Thank you
very
both.
much.
I mean, you have just been an absolute gem.
She's been very, very quiet. I know she loves it in this caravan.
Yeah. I know. Do you know, I've got some treats up there. I don't know if you'd like.
I tell you what, I'm sure she would.
I don't know if she's good with her tummy and all of that sort of stuff.
She'd love a treat, I'm sure.
What do you think she'd like?
Go on, little one. Get a little one there. Look at that. Oh, yes. Thanks. Thank
there
you.
You go.
Oh,
that's brilliant, mate. Well, listen, I know you're busy. I know you're doing all sorts of stuff here at Goodwoof. So, this is your mug here. Look, that's for you, my friend.
It's
got your name on.
Oh, look.
There you are.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah, that's totally for
brilliant.
you. You can enjoy that and with his little dog ball. But thank you very much indeed.
Great. Thanks,
it's been lovely, and thank you again.
Cheers.
And hope you all enjoyed the Petcast. If you have enjoyed what we've all been talking about, then please do listen out for more from wherever you get your podcasts from. Bye for now.